challenges.
Basing on the foundations of the National Development Plan 2 in Uganda's Vision 2040, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in a speech read by Prime Minister Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, has highlighted the need to drive Uganda out of poverty by creating inclusive opportunities in various sectors.
The vision is centered on strengthening the fundamentals of the economy, basically infrastructure, human resource development, peace and security, and others. And this is in order to harness the abundant opportunities in agriculture, tourism, minerals, including oil and gas, and also take advantage of the demographic dividend amongst others.
Under the theme Sustainable Industrialization for Inclusive Growth, Employment and Wealth Creation, the conference attracted various economic stakeholders from government and civil society to dialogue on Uganda's economic priorities and challenges in the coming years.
The low level of productivity in agriculture. Over 68% of our population is in the subsistence economy. The second is the uncompetitive private sector as a result of high cost of electricity, transport, and money, as the President has said in his speech. The existing gaps in social service delivery and widening inequality coupled with increase in poverty from 19.7 in 2013 to 21.4 in 2017.
As of 2017, Uganda's population was recorded to be over 43 million. World Bank officials assert the need to watch population growth rates vis-à-vis national planning initiatives.
Uganda has one of the world's highest population growth rates, with almost half of its people under the age of 15. As a result, once population growth is accounted for, the economy's average annual per capita growth is significantly reduced.
The conference kickstarts the consultations on the budget for the next financial year 2020-2021, which is the first year of implementation of the third National Development Plan.
Uganda's newly refurbished and expanded chancellery in Tanzania is open to offer consular services. Representing President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni at the inauguration in Tanzania, Sam Kutesa, the Foreign Affairs Minister, said that the chancellery is key in fostering commercial diplomacy. Dennis Sigua reports.
The newly refurbished chancellery in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, houses Uganda's diplomatic mission in Tanzania. While inaugurating the chancellery, Sam Kutesa, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, said government has a strategic plan of refurbishing all dilapidated chancelleries across the globe or build new ones.
We have decided now that in every year, within the means available, we concentrate on at least 2 and get them finished and get them out of the way, and start on another one and another one. I think this is beginning to bear fruit, and this one is a demonstrable example, is a demonstration of this policy and its success.
The chancellery in Dar es Salaam is expected to play an important role in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs' new focus of attracting investment and promoting trade.
The mission is here to support you in what you do here. Those of you who are engaged in trade, to do business, those of you who are working here to look after your consular issues, and as a ministry, we look forward to working closely with you as a community to ensure that the relations between our two countries continue to grow from strength to strength.
Ambassador Richard Kabonero, Uganda's High Commissioner to Tanzania, lauded government for providing renovation resources. This is despite the fact that Uganda's High Commission is soon to relocate to the new capital of Dodoma.
And will definitely save us money in rent. Where we have our properties abroad, government saves a lot in paying out rent. So in spite of our anticipated move, this will still remain the property of the government of Uganda and eventually generate revenue for our treasury.
Dennis Igoa for UBC News in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
The Civil Society Coalition on Oil and Gas has come out to defend government on the oil and gas tax waivers to the international oil and gas companies. CSOs argue that rushing the projects without complying with the stipulated tax laws would compromise the oil and gas benefits and set a bad precedence.
Na leo nataka niwape siri moja. Nilikuwa namuuliza Mzee Museveni, mbona unachelewesha hili bomba? Kwa sababu ya kodi ya huko ambayo umekataa kuikubali. Kodi yenyewe ni $600 wakati utakuwa unatengeneza bilioni 800 USD dola.
Remarks at the inaugural Tanzania-Uganda Business Summit in Dar es Salaam continue to elicit mixed reaction in various forums. Uganda's Civil Society Coalition on Oil and Gas has come out to support Uganda Revenue Authority's right to pursue Tullow Oil's tax obligations to finality.
What we are trying to avoid is twisting so that you give concessions against the provision, you bend the law and give these concessions. So we still encourage engagement, the understanding of the oil companies. And that's why we're even calling the URA and government to come out and provide information to the citizens so that citizens also understand that this situation is not a situation within the hands of government, that it is government that is delaying actually the investment, because we also have local investors.
The increasing pressure on Uganda government to waive the 617 billion shillings capital gains tax in the interest of expediting the oil and gas production is in the limelight.
Our tax laws beyond just the petroleum industry, there are laws on how tax waivers are given. And I do not think that if the companies want a tax waiver on this matter, I do not think that they are going about it the right way. So already, my stand is that, and our stand is that companies must pay this tax. And then they can negotiate tax waivers in different forums on different issues.
The attempt by the international oil companies to undermine Uganda's tax laws and limit tax obligation is strongly opposed by the Civil Society Coalition on Oil and Gas.
So going forward, we think it is not very, very necessary for us to rush through the project when actually we are not going to benefit.
I don't think that the pressure is one-sided. They also share the pressure. They have invested for more than 10 years, and they want to see a return on their investment. So I think we need to be steadfast.
The dispute on capital gains tax, which has stretched for more than 2 years, notwithstanding repeated attempts to break the impasse, is not the first dispute over tax in the country's extractive sector. Tullow and Heritage have similarly previously embroiled in disputes with Uganda Revenue Authority over tax. Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development unveiled the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda. The fund ensures that customers of commercial banks and other deposit-taking institutions are compensated to a maximum of 10 million shillings should it close. We'll take a look.
Government has decided to increase the deposit insurance paid by deposit-taking institutions like banks from 3 million shillings to 10 million shillings.
It is to help create confidence in your financial system. Otherwise, people will be running out from keeping money in the banks. And you know that is not good running. It's not, we don't do that in an economy that is being run in a modern way. People must put money not under the mattresses, not in the pots. Money should be kept in banks.
The Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda is a legal entity created by the government of Uganda under the Financial Institution Act of 2004, whose mandate is to act as a deposit insurance scheme for customers.
It is a commitment by government that should a bank in the financial system fail, there is a fallback position. They are guaranteed to reimburse or to pay the depositors a minimum amount of 10 million per account.
According to the central bank, starting July 2019, there are 12 million active bank accounts registered under various commercial banks in Uganda. And the Deposit Protection Fund is covering 11.2 million so far.
The fund currently is approximately 650 billion shillings in terms of absolute figures. And this is an increase from 480 billion in 2017 when we took charge of the fund as a separate legal entity.
In order to ensure safety and liquidity, the collected premiums are invested in Government of Uganda's treasury instruments. Reporting for UBC, Wadulo Makano.
In our corporate news, Sanlam Life Insurance has launched the Sanlam Better Life campaign, which seeks to support the less privileged Uganda primary education pupils attend the school of their dreams.
As a pioneer in universal education in sub-Saharan Africa, Uganda has registered an increase in secondary school enrollment, specifically from families that can't afford to pay school fees.
As an educationist, now not as a ministry, we still have challenges with insurance companies. I want to thank you that you have come out openly to even give back to our parents, give back to our children, and our children is our future. And our future is in our children. So the moment you can give back, to me that is an entry point.
As it marks 10 years in Uganda, Sanlam Life has launched a scholarship program. The Sanlam Better Life campaign aims at giving the students a means to attend secondary school and give financial relief to their parents.
What we are trying to do right now is not necessarily to take up parental responsibility in terms of that, but we are trying to reward excellence in terms of the performance. You understand that? It is about excellence. This is what is going to motivate even children or parents, especially those that are not able to be able to work hard, because if you work very, very hard, definitely some relief in terms of this will be able to be taken over.
However, to qualify for the scholarships, rules and guidelines apply, says John Lintari, the Chief Executive Officer, Sanlam Life Insurance Company, Uganda.
In applicants, the best one are 8. We are not going to sponsor them because of that. No, we are not going to pick the best out of the applicant. Okay? And the sponsorship is for UPE. UPE, we've started with the UPE for now. We will always be able to review the criteria as we go forward. Because it's a start, then it will be able to inform on the spendings based on this year.
The Education Ministry lauded the program and urged other corporate entities to embrace such developmental initiatives to give pupils in less privileged families educational opportunities. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Kenya Airlines Pilots Association is calling for a thorough audit of KQ's operations in addition to investigating the management over recurrent losses. Kenya Airlines Pilots Association further claims that mismanagement, coupled with inadequate pilots and costly maintenance services, have compounded challenges bedeviling the national carrier.
Kenya Airways has been loss-making since the year ended March 2013. Since then, the airline has had a change of management teams, but the loss-making streak has continued.
Let's stop this cheap propaganda that is being peddled. Let's ask the right questions. Let's get clarity on why Kenya Airways is always making such astronomical losses.
Among issues that have been cited for the losses at Kenya Airways is flight delays or cancellations occasioned by insincerity on the part of the pilots.
What has been blamed on flight cancellations is 182 million shillings. Now that is 0.2 billion out of 8.6 billion shilling loss.
You don't accuse a workforce that has been going without salary without salary increment since 2015. You tell them that they are taking over half 50% of the wage bill.
The Kenya Airline Pilots Association has decried the slow pilot process at the Kenya Airways, saying it was partly to blame for cancelled flights due to fatigue and ailments of the already stretched human resource.
Why do you increase frequencies of flights when you don't have the right numbers? You are bound to have a problem of crewing flights.
CalPER says Kenya Airways has 430 pilots against a target of 600 pilots. The pilots are calling for an audit of Kenya Airways operations and a thorough investigation of subsequent management over recurrent losses.
Staff in management cadres have had several salary increases, with some adjustments being made on the basis of who Sebastian personally feels free to grant.
The questions that everyone should be asking, and the questions that CalPER is asking as well, is where is the 8.4 billion shilling loss?
In July, the National Assembly unanimously voted to approve the recommendation by the Transport Committee for nationalization of Kenya Airways.
23 years later,
As the nationalization debate takes center stage, stakeholders are calling for inclusivity. The Kenya Airline Pilots Association argues that there is need to have all stakeholders at the negotiation table so that they can see Kenya Airways return to profitability.
So long as the nationalization process is going to change the fortunes of Kenya, we're not opposed to it. Actually, it's a good idea.
Regina Wanyara reporting for Channel 1 Business.
As a people, as countries, as governments, as NGOs, we need to have an understanding of the fundamental issues. We have to understand if we are going into a debt on oil or a debt on a specific mineral or a contractual agreement or a PPP, do we really understand what is involved, rather than finding out 20 years later that we made a mistake? Now, I want to admit that I was Minister of Finance when Mujagari was signed. I am the one who signed it. The document was 500 pages long. I tried to read it. And the pressure kept coming, please, we want the document. Where is the document? I said, I'm reading it. We don't have time. We want to sign. The contract has been around for so many years. Why are you delaying it further now? The financiers are ready. I couldn't read 500 pages of legalese. I think I stopped at page 150 and signed. And of course, I tried to depend on my advisors. I said, are you sure that this is okay? They said it is okay. Now, 20 years later, I'm being told that it's the most expensive power in Africa. Clearly, I have a PhD in economics. If I am not able to understand the contract, then. But it simply indicates that we need more serious, there should have been more serious attention, more serious backing, more capability before the document came to me. It should have come with the recommendations. There wasn't any. They just said, here is the document.
Uganda is blessed with immense tourist attractions. The Equator along Masaka Road in Kayabwe is one of them. It features tonight in our Sounds of Business. Enjoy. In the recent days, there has been debate on whether government should forego some taxes to facilitate the downstream phase of the oil and gas sector in Uganda. As a viewer and citizen of this country, what is your take on this? Let us know on our social media platforms, and thank you for being a part of this episode. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold. Catch me on the next same time, same place. From the team and I, it's goodbye.